question I'm going to get you guys to have a crack at. If you look down on the bottom corners, there's all these page numbers written in down the bottom. So I will encourage you to have a read through here if you want to. It just basically talks about what the exam is, area of weaknesses. It's pretty cool that we find that people commonly make mistakes on. So please have a bit of a read of that as well. And these are just some of the things, you know, that you should be able to do. And it goes through there. They're kind of like dot points for you. I'm not going to go through them today, but there's some other information in there. This booklet contains basically a whole lot of difficult questions. So if you kind of feel like I'm doing pretty good, I've done a fair few exams and you want to really challenge yourself, do this booklet. Alternatively, you might be really struggling on some difficult concepts. You could just identify questions in this booklet just to target those. So you can use it one or two ways. I'm going to go through a few of them today with you guys. So the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is just go to page 8 down the bottom here. And I've also, you can see on the solution booklets, there's also solutions that you can go through as well. On page 8, I'd like to just have a go at, I'm going to have a go at question 15, and then we're going to do 16 as well. Okay, if you guys can have a quick go at question 15 for me, and then 16, and I'll go through the solutions I'll give you guys 3 minutes. (15 and 16). You will need your CAS. Normally when we do this, we don't give you the solution, so please try and resist from turning over the page. Does anyone need a CAS? We're all good? Finished? Yeah, page 8, 15 and 16. Try both of them. You're just working through it already? Yeah. Feel free to follow me through if you like. Where are you up to? What page?
I was calling you, but
okay.
I don't mind.
Yeah, follow me through because I'll point out some things on that. Excellent. Done? Both of them? No, you guys still going? Try and follow me through on this, guys. Because there is method to my madness. You'll like it. Like, Have you done both questions? Good, 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 good. I thought 3 minutes should be enough. I'll just give time for everyone to get organised as well. If you are waiting for me, feel free to jump ahead and work on another question if you want, if you feel like you've got time. Yep, they're up here. Do you guys see Cena at all?
I don't think he's coming to school. He's just going to do his revision of him.
Do you see him though?
No, so he's at home.
Yeah, okay. I want to give him the booklet. Yeah, that's what I mean. Do you see him out of school? Take your sack as well for me. Thank you. Does anyone see Adrian? Yeah. Now, currently, right? Can you ask him to come and see me afterwards? All right, let's have a go at this one. All right, so I'm going to run through this one here. So if you recall, this is a bit of a warm-up question, but going back to finance. So the seasonal index for life earnings, the seasonal index for the daily earnings in a cafe in a tourist town from Monday to Sunday are shown in a table below. The seasonal index for Sunday is not shown. Last Sunday, the cafe earned that amount. The deseasonalized earnings for this day were what? Thinking about Sunday, would I expect it to be a higher value or a lower value? Would it be greater than 1 or less than 1? Just generally thinking this scenario, what would you guys expect it to be? Greater because why? There's not that many ones, and it's a cafe, right? When's a cafe going to be probably the most busiest? On the weekend, so I'd expect it to be high. So the total seasonal index should add up to 7. So I can go 7 minus, and then I just put each of them away. Works systematically, left to right or right to left, doesn't really matter. 0.65. What I tend to do, guys, as I'm doing this, I sort of just give a little tick, you know, and then I'll be like minus 0.6 or a dot. Sometimes I might do dot, you know, and I'll actually mark my paper as I'm going through this. That's why I printed it out for you. So you can actually work on some of those skills on pen and paper because that's what you're going to be doing. Because you can easily miss one. So that's why I sort of tick it off as I go through just to make sure I've got them all. Because you don't want to do anything silly. Minus 1.45. And that's going to be 1.62. So it's 1.62 in here. Now I want to know the deseasonalized earnings. So to deseasonalize it, we take our seasonal index and we divide it or multiply. If it's higher, it's always going to come down. The way I think about this is if it's a high one, you know, we've sold a lot on that day, it should come down. So I'm expecting a value to be lower than that because we want to make this go towards 1. So I'm going to go 3839 divided by 1.62. And to me, that sounds good because deseasonalizing, if we've done really well deseasonalizing it, the peak should come down and the trough should come up. So I'm thinking, yeah, Sunday's a peak, right? So the value when I deseasonalize it should come down because we're trying to take out this seasonality of it. So there's this seasonality of it, and I'm trying to actually bring that down. So, you know, we want these troughs to go up and we want it to basically become almost straight. So when I think of this is a high one, so my deseasonalized value should be lower. And when I reseasonalize it, because this is high, it would be higher. If I reseasonalize a low value, it would actually be lower from where it is. So I'm pretty happy with my answer being below that. So I'm looking at 2369, 2370. I would go with A. The seasonal index for Wednesday is 0.74. This tells us that Wednesday's earnings tend to be 26% less than the average daily earnings, 26% more, 35% less, 35% more. What are we thinking? 77%, 74%. Okay, this actually tells us, we're interpreting it, it's 26% less than the daily earnings. Because I actually take in 0.74 of my average daily earnings. So it's actually less than that. So that's what it is. Let's jump to page 10. And I want you guys to have a go at, page 10. I want you guys to now have a go at question 12. I'll give you a minute and a half on that one. Question 12, a minute and a half. Page 10, please. We're doing page 10, question 12. Oh, I can't get this right. I should have it there. All right, let's have a go and a look at this one. So this question says the seasonality for headache tablet sales in summer is 0.8. 2, correct for seasonality. The headache tablet sales for summer should be increased by 25%. How do we get that? We want to get this to 1. This is a different type of question to the one before, and we will reflect on both of these because I do want you to recognize that's why I got you to do the other question and then move straight onto this one. I want to show you the difference between these. To correct for seasonality, we actually want to get it to the value of 1. So I'm going to try and remember how I do this. If I go 0.8 divided by, 1 divided by 0.8, I think it is, you'll see it's 1.25. That means that basically I want to increase it by 25%. I want to get it to 1. So another way you could look at it is if I go 0.8 and if I times that, if I increase it by 25%, see how I've increased that by 25% now? It takes me to 1. So I want to get to correct for seasonality. We want to correct for seasonality. When you correct for seasonality, everything wants to become 1, basically. Not figure 1, but that's what we're trying to do. So the difference between these questions, guys, let's just have a quick reflect back. If you just go have a look back on the other page we're just at, okay, and just look at these two questions. And this would be something pretty good to probably put in your reference book if you're not comfortable with these two. This says the seasonal index for Wednesday is 0.7. This tells us Wednesday's earnings tends to be what? Okay, yeah, it's 26% less. This doesn't say anything about to correct for seasonality. So when it doesn't say to correct for seasonality, go with your gut instinct of what that normally means. Most people get that right, okay? A lot of people get the other one wrong, which is, and we're going to look at that. So just flick back to the other one and you'll see the difference in the type of the question. You'll see that this one says the seasonal index for headache summer is that to correct for seasonality. If you ever see anything saying to correct for seasonality, oh, I got to try and get to that one thing. Okay. Headache sales should be, we need to increase it by 25%. It's not what you normally think it is. Okay. So that one's going to have a different one. Basically, if it was less than 1, so if it's like 1.2 and I want to correct for seasonality, I'm going to decrease that by about 16%. It's less than what you think it is. Whereas if it's a number less than 1, you're going to increase it by a percentage greater than what you think it is. So that's how straight away I knew it was going to be that. So that's a good example to have. How you do it on your CAS is all you need to do is literally go 1 divided by your seasonal index, and I need to increase that by 25%. You can minus 1 if you want, and then times it by 100, and that would get you to the percentage. That's another way you can do it. I tend to personally just go, so if my seasonal index was 1.2, to correct for seasonal index, I would go 1 divided by 1.2, and, sorry, that's the wrong, what did I do? Yep, that's right. 1 divided by 1.2, and what I need to do is I need to decrease that, so then I can actually go minus 1 times by 100. I need to decrease it by 16.7%. So can you see there? So what you can do, 1 divided by a seasonal index, take away 1, times it by 100, and it will show you as a percentage increase. This will come out as a decrease. So notice reduce, I wouldn't say reduce it by negative 16%, I'd say reduce it by negative 16.7. Happy with that one? If you're not sure, please do that. So if you do see to correct for seasonality, that typically comes out in most exams on a multiple choice question. So if you just follow those steps, you've got that in a reference book. It's a mark that everybody in the state struggles with, and you'll be like, yeah, I've got that one. So that should be a pretty cool one. I know we did that a bit in class too. All right, let's keep on moving on. I'm going to show you, I'm just going to run through a couple myself now. I'm going to ask to go back to page 9 if we can. I'm just going to run through and just talk about just a couple to help you guys with this. We're going to have a look at question 10. Have a quick think about this, the relationship between the variable size of cars and salary level. What do you think that would be? First of all, we've got to think about what these are. Size of car, is that going to be numerical or categorical? Well, it's categorical because we're not actually measuring it. We're not like measuring how long is your car, you know, from the top, front to the bottom. So we're just going small, medium, and large. It's categorical. Can I order these? Yeah, I can order things from small, medium, large. So I'm going to call it ordinal. Okay. This one here, salary level. Salary would typically be numerical. However, if you look at the categories of it, it's low, medium, or high. So that's actually categorical and ordinal as well. One thing that you do want to make sure you've got is, remember in the last sub-chapter, I think it's in chapter 1 or 2 of Ed Rollo, it has a nice little box that shows you all the things that you can have. So you should have that in your reference book. If you don't, let me just get the book up. I should have had it up already. Yep, this one. So what you should have is in Ed Rollo, I think it's at the end of chapter 1. It could be at the end of chapter 2. I really can't recall. Must be is it chapter 2? Yep, it's not chapter 1, must be chapter 2. End of chapter 2, you want to make sure there we go, I just saw it. You want to make sure you have this table in your book. This is great. It's going to tell you everything that you can have. If you don't have it, write down some notes that you need to have this in your book, but you should have it. This is always, I can't remember which one you've got to do with which one. I kind of do by reasoning through it. I've got a categorical and a categorical one. So I can only do any of these, right? It's a really easy way. Look at my reference book. Sweet. All I need to do is determine what my variables are. And I can come back to this table and go, what is it? So it's either a parallel box plot, categorical and categorical, segmented bar chart, or two-way frequency table. Go back here. Percentage segmented bar chart. I would say it would have to be that one. I can't do a scatter plot because that's for 2 numerical values, right? Histogram, well, that's for, again, numerical as well. Parallel box plots, I could do parallel box plots if I had numerical and categorical, but I don't have that. Back-to-back stem leaf plot is for categorical and numerical. So that helps me there, which says it is E. There, yep.
So you know you have both those options. Categorical.
This one or this, they're the only 2.
So if you don't have multiple question,
No, there's only one correct answer in multiple choice. Sometimes there has been 2, very rarely. Just go with the one you think's the best. Don't ever answer 2. So only answer 1 in multiple choice. You only get 1. And don't ever leave one blank either. Like color them in, you know what I mean, at the end. If you're going to go 2 minutes to go, you got 3 or 4 blank, just A, or whatever. Choose whatever you want. You're better off trying to get 1 mark than not. So that's where I'd go there with this one and how I do that. Next page I'm going to take you to is page 11, and we're going to have a look at question 8. You might recall this one, okay? Which one of the following dot plots above would best do this? So remember, when we do a box plot, we have a 5-number summary. We're looking for our min, our max is what you can first label, and remember that is outliers included. Yes, min and max is to your outliers, so it's the most. And then we do Q2. We also have Q1, and we also have Q3. So the first thing is finding my median. If I read the question, it says a dot plot for the data is shown below. Unfortunately, it doesn't tell me the number there, so I'm going to actually count them. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I'm going to write 13 on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5. That's 5 because they're the same height, and that is 1. So I've got a 23, 24. If I want to find my median is 24 plus 1 divided by 2. So it's going to be at the 12.5 mark. So it's in here. Do you notice how I wrote those numbers on there? Helped me so much already. So I could already see where my Q2 is. My Q2 is here. Obviously, my Q1 is going to be around here. It's still going to be in there, right? So if I want to think about Q1, I've got 12 numbers on each side. So it's going to be 12 plus 1 divided by 2, which is 13, which is going to equal 6.5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in between these 2. So it's going to be Q3 is going to be at the value of 1,021. Now I've got all my values. My minimum is at 101. So my minimum would be at 101. My Q1 is at 101. My Q2 is at 101. So I just draw a line everywhere, right? My Q3 is at 102.5. So I would draw a line here, and then I'll just have a box like that. So it can't be this one. And then my max is 104. Okay, so it's not too far off this one. It would look like that. It has to be this one. So let's just do that again. My minimum, you draw a dot at the minimum. What's there? Because this is min, right? Right here. It's at this value. My Q1, I put a line where Q1 is. My Q2, I put a line where Q2 is. Q3, well, we put a line at Q3 because we put lines at Q1, Q2, and Q3, and we put dots typically at min and max with respect to our outliers, right? So then Q3 is at 102.5, which is here. And then don't forget, we put a dot on our max. Is that an outlier? 1.5 times this. Well, I can see just visually that it won't be because that's 1.5. That's going to be 1.5. So it's not going to be, has to be 1.5 times 1.5 times bigger. So I know that line can go all the way out. Therefore, it has to be C. So that's a really weird looking box plot. Don't forget, guys, box plots. Minimum, you're going to do a dot. Now, that could be a line or it could be a point, right? Depending if it's an outlier. Q1, we do as a line. Q2, we do as a line. Q3, we do as a line. Maximum, we do as a dot. You always join up your box plot. And then you draw a line to your minimum if it's not an outlier. And you draw a line, just pretend, actually, let's just say your maximum's up here. Then you draw a line to your next maximum point that is not an outlier. It'll stop there. And then any outliers, you draw those as dots. So just follow your basic principles. They like to throw these ones in. We haven't had one like this for a while. They may throw one in. Sometimes they have some obscure things. But just the principles of what a box plot is. Just a bit of a review. Questions? Is that one okay? Yep. Okay. Let's go to, what are we on? That was page 10, was it? 11? Well, then we're going to go page 12. Question 12. I'll have a quick look at that. That's where I was going to go. I may not, though. Okay, using the 5 median smoothing method. Now, remember, when we're talking this, I always think of what is median. Median is my visual one. The smooth number of calls in year 6 was closest to what? Okay, I am going to just quickly take a snippet of this. So there's 2 different types of smoothing methods we can have. One we can have as mean, and you add up all the numbers and divide them, yeah, by how many you have. And the other one is median. Typically, but not always, median will be done graphically. Mean you'll do calculator-wise. So when it's median, I want to find the 5 smooth number of calls in year 6. So first of all, I'm going to identify 6. Then what I want to do is I want to smooth it between all these points. So I'm going to take 2 from my left, 2 from my right. 1 in the middle gives me 5 points. So I want to smooth lowest to highest. Now, if you recall, we already have these in lowest to highest because they're already sequentially ordered from the lowest to the highest value on using the y-axis. So all I'm doing is I'm just going to look at the points within here. I typically draw a line down here. And I just want to look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. Then I'm going to get my ruler. This would be your typical ruler, okay? I'm going to actually get my ruler. So I'm going to get my ruler with that. I just want to make it thicker. Can you guys see that all right? Yes? Okay, no. The ruler? No, you can't. Let me just format. I don't want to format the picture. I want to format the shape. This. Ah, there we go. That's what I wanted. Okay, now you can see it, yes? Okay, so I'm looking at these 5 points. What I'm going to do is just push my ruler up. That would be my lowest value because it's already the lowest on the Y. So I want my 3rd value. That would be my 2nd lowest value. That would be my middle value, right? Because we're smoothing 5 points. So that is the value of this smoothed. It's going to be 3,900. That would be it. So you actually use a ruler, okay? So we slide up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If this was a 7 point and I was smoothing to this, I would just increase my graph Whoop, I would just increase my graph and I would look at then those 7 points. Okay, so they're the points that then I would then look at these 7 points. Again, I would then just use a ruler, and if it's 7 points, I would choose my 4th point. So what we'll be doing then is using our ruler, and I'll be going 1, 2, 3, 4. Surprise, surprise, it's the same point. So that's how we do it. So either way, 3,900. Okay, it must be 3,800. No, it's not. It's closest to. That's not 3,900 either. That's probably more like 3,950, really, isn't it? Yeah, it's 3,950. So it'll be closest to 4,000. I even wrote that down wrong because it's a bit above. It does say closest to, so I would go with D on that one. Let's see how I went. Hopefully I got that right. It'd be terrible if I got it wrong. Excellent, D. Cool. We're going to give you guys to try one. We're going to go to page 10. I would like you guys, which we're already on, I would like you to please try question 13 for me. 10. 10? Oh, hang on. We've already, yep, 10, 10, 10. Please try question 13 for me. That'll probably be our last question. I will give you a list of questions that we can do, though, as well. The ones that I was going to go through, if you like. Have a crack. That one is for you guys to have a go at. I'll give you a minute and a half on that one. Question 13. We're on page 10. Page 10. Yep, this one right here. Hang on. Yeah, did I get that right? Is it page 10? Yep, question 13, please. You can probably see why I'm doing these in this sequence for a reason. Yeah, sort of putting the two common ones together. Ah, this one's mean, right? The other one was median. Did you guys get it? Done? Nice. Did you get it right? I shouldn't have printed out the solution booklet for you, but normally we wouldn't have the solution booklet in a masterclass because people just look, you know, you want to engage with you afterwards, but different year, why not? All right. Let's have a go at that one. So obviously I've chosen this one, right, because this is to mean smoothing, okay? And it's the 2 point, it's an even point, which is really annoying. So we want to smooth it with the value of 2006. So I need the average of that, and then I need to do the average of this one, and then I need to take those two averages and I need to add them together, and then that, and then divide those two by 2, and that will tell me what my answer is. So we're going to find out the average of this because if you find out the average of that, it's really like 2006.5. And if I take that, the average of that, it's like 2005.5. So then if you take the average of those two, it'll take you back to 2006. Hence, it says with centering. So just one last thing, guys. It does say with centering. Why it says with centering is because that's going to take you to 2005.5. That's going to take you to 2006.6. So you need to recenter it back to that. So I'm just going to quickly go through this one. So you're going to take your first value, 3,900,000 plus 4,830,000. So I'm expecting my answer to be around $8 million there. And divide that by 2. that is my answer for the blue section. No, you can have them. And then we take the other two. Just make sure you count your zeros, divide that by 2. Then I take my 2 answers. I think I stuffed that up somewhere. I did. I need an extra 0 in here. Then I take my 2 answers. That should be like, and this one, I think I've done this wrong, but that's okay. And divide those by 2. I have stuffed something up completely. Let's just go to the solutions, because I can see the bell's going to go. Take the 2 of them. They're your 2 averages, as I was saying. Your average of this one and your average of this one. And then average of those 2 is going to lead you to the answer. Voila. All right. The other questions I was going to go to, if you do want to write these down, feel free to. I was going to go to page 13 and get you guys to do all of those. So if you want to write these down, you're more than welcome to. So I was going to get you to do everything on this one, page 13. Just one moment. Page 24B, I was going to get you to do all of those. Page 24, get you to do question 7. I can write on the lesson plan. Page 21, question 5. 24, question 6. 24J, question 6. 24L, question 7. That's it. Cheerios. Good luck. Hope you guys are all going to do well. Remember, we're going to do exam revision next week. If you've got any questions, please stick around and I'll help you guys. I'm going to stop that recording. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your weekend.